Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On 28 October 1915, the Department of the Navy officially transferred Marine Corps recruit training to Parris Island. Among the first 750 Marines sent to Parris Island were the depot's first bandmaster, drum major, and a group of musicians from which the Parris Island Marine Band was formed. The musicians also doubled as marksmanship instructors, close combat instructors, and provided support for various units aboard the depot. A field music school was also established to train Marine musicians prior to their assignment to individual bands throughout the fleet. Today, the Parris Island Marine Band is one of the premier military bands in America. It consists of 50 members under the direction of the band officer, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Genovese, the band master, Master Sergeant Mike, the enlisted conductors, Gunnery Sergeant Shaw and Gunnery Sergeant Hendrickson, the instrument repair technician, Gunnery Sergeant Kacheski, the small ensemble leader, Staff Sergeant Hall, and the drum major, Staff Sergeant Gonzalez. The band travels throughout the United States providing music for military ceremonies, community relations events, recruiting programs, and other official events. They also have the ability to perform as several specialty ensembles such as ceremonial band, concert band, jazz ensemble, show band, and brass quintet, to name a few. While required to maintain a high degree of musical performance skills, these band members are above all else Marines and must remain capable of assuming the tasks common to all Marines, those of a basic Marine rifleman. The band's heritage dates back to the whistling fifes and rolling drums of the first Marines' music back in 1775 and upholds the tradition of excellence and service to Corps and country, which is a proud legacy to all Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parris Island Marine Band. The term devil dog is used today as a friendly reference between Marines, but the nickname has a proud history. It was first given to the Marines by German troops who fought against them at the Battle of Belleau Wood during World War I. In 1921, Major General Smedley Butler introduced the first bulldog as a Marine mascot. Now entering the parade deck is Parris Island's own devil dog, Lance Corporal Ofa May. Lance Corporal Ofa May is an English bulldog who enlisted in the Marine Corps on August 21, 2017. She reported for recruit training on August 27th and graduated November 17th. Lance Corporal Ofame's handler is Lance Corporal Sanders of the Headquarters and Service Battalion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops, Captain White.
Staff, forward!
The staff for today's parade is comprised of officers and drill instructors from the 3rd Recruit Training Battalion. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. The chaplain of the 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Woodard, United States Navy, will deliver the invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, spiritual development plays an important part in the making of the United States Marine. With that in mind, this prayer was written for the Marines of Hero Company. Let us pray. Oh God, as we gather together today, we give you thanks for giving us the courage, strength, and patience necessary to accomplish the goal of becoming the United States Marines. Working through our diversity of culture and personalities, you have formed us into a team. And we thank you for seeing us through the physical, emotional, and the spiritual trials of training. You have surrounded us with loving family and friends who have supported us while we were here. And we thank you for seeing them safely here today to share this special moment with us. We ask that you continue to watch over them and us, our Corps, and our country, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Present-day parades in the Marine Corps have their basis in both history and tradition. The massed formation of troops on one long line at close interval made possible the massing of firepower from muzzle-loaded muskets of yesterday. In those early days, the line of battle was just that, a line of 2 or 3 ranks, and looked much like the parade formation that you are about to see today. The adjutant forms the line for battle. The Marine marching across the parade deck is Captain Dixon. He is the parade adjutant and will very shortly give the command to begin the ceremony. His position, when he halts, indicates where the right flank of the formation will rest. Once positioned, he will draw his sword and supervise the placement of the formation.
Down! Attention!
Have served aboard Parris Island since 1891, and more than 1 million Marines have been trained here. They have departed Parris Island for combat in conflicts throughout the world. The misty wheat fields of Bella Wood, the gritty beaches of the Pacific, the snow-capped mountains of Korea, the sweltering jungles of Vietnam, the parched desert sands of Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and every other clime and place where Marines have sacrificed for country and corps. The first called upon, the first to arrive, and the first to fight, the Marine Corps, the nation's force in readiness, has answered the call to numerous hotspots around the globe, showing the world once again that the United States Marine Corps is America's premier 911 force. Marching onto the parade ground is Company K. They began their training on January 25, 2019, and today's graduation marks the end of a demanding and difficult 12 weeks of training. These young men you see marching before you have met and mastered the challenge of recruit training. They have qualified with the service rifle and received basic warrior training. They have completed over 200 hours of academic instruction and participated in a rigorous physical training program that has developed their strength and stamina for the challenges ahead. Core values have been instilled in each of them, the meaning of honor, courage, and commitment. Marching before you this morning are 215 success stories, each of them a testament to the physical courage, dogged determination, and unyielding commitment to excellence that define the title Marine. This is what they have striven and persevered for, the right to walk across this parade deck as Marines. They have earned this title through demonstrated courage and achievement, and now join the proud ranks of over 1 million Marines who have graduated from Parris Island. From this day on, they will carry on the proud legacy and history of the United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines of Company K. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove all hats for the playing of our national anthem. The parade adjutant now presents the command to the commander of troops, indicating that the parade is formed.
We got stored for theory! All present or accounted for! We got 28 theory! All present or accounted for! Attention to orders! Headquarters, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Eastern Recruiting Region, Parris Island, South Carolina, 19th April 2019. The command duty officer of the day today is First Lieutenant Ferry. The command duty officer of the day tomorrow is Captain Price. By order of J.L. Clear, Brigadier General, United States Marine Corps, commanding officer. Stand down. March.
At the Command Officer Center March, all unit commanders and guidon bearers marched to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that the commanding officer would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit commanders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information on to their Marines.
Right, face, back, order, sword. Marine! Right!
Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. In keeping with the slogan, once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. We ask that those men and women in the audience who have served in the United States Marine Corps please rise. Please join us in showing our appreciation for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of the 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Halligan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Brigadier General Flynn, I'd like to welcome you to Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Paris Island, to today's graduation ceremony for Kilo Company. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to today's parade reviewing official, Colonel Darling. Good morning, ma'am. We're honored to have you here with us today. Today's ceremony is about recognizing the accomplishments of these remarkable Marines in formation behind me. 12 weeks ago, these Marines began our nation's most difficult entry-level military training when they stepped off those buses and onto our historic yellow footprints here at Paris Island. Since then, they've been tested mentally, morally, and physically in events such as marksmanship, martial arts, water survival, and academics. Their final test was crucial, a defining event that required endurance and teamwork over a period of more than 2 days where they got little sleep. Throughout the entire process, they learned the importance of our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. Today, these Marines join a long line of patriotic men and women who have earned the title United States Marine. But they didn't get here alone. The development of their character, values, and patriotism started with you. You created the foundation that placed them on this long and difficult but very rewarding road today. It was only through the support of parents, family, and friends that they were able to complete recruit training. And your support is going to be vital as they continue their enlistments in the Marine Corps. So on behalf of the grateful Marine Corps, I'd like to thank you for the role that you played in the development of these new Marines. Now I'd like to recognize a couple of groups of Marines that are directly linked to our success here at Parris Island. The first are our recruiters. Our recruiters work long hours in home towns just like yours, searching out the best and most fully qualified applicants. It was the recruiter who first convinced your Marine to even accept the challenge to become a United States Marine. So I think it's important that we pause and recognize them for their efforts and contributions. Finally, our drill instructors. This group of highly professional Marines dedicates themselves to transforming recruits into Marines. Every day they set the example while instilling our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. I have no doubt that the impact that these drill instructors have had on these Marines will be etched into their memories for the rest of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our drill instructors and their families. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to address the new Marines. Good morning, Marines. Good morning, sir! Congratulations on your accomplishment of completing recruit training and earning the title United States Marine. Please know that today is about you and what you've accomplished. However, after today, it's no longer about you. It's about the people in the stands and the nation in which we serve. It's about the Marines standing to your left and to your right. It's about Marines that haven't even met yet. And finally, it's about our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. If you remember these words, Marines, you'll do well. So on behalf of all of us here at MCRU Parris Island, congratulations. I wish you farewell and following speed. Semper Fidelis, Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Corps of Newest Marines.
The parade reviewing official for today's graduation ceremony is Colonel Leslie Darley. Colonel Darley was commissioned through the Reserve Officers Training Corps at Methodist University in North Carolina in 1994. She has served in a variety of billets throughout the world to include assignments in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Sinai, Egypt, Heidelberg, Germany, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, Fort Hood, Texas, Washington, D.C., and Afghanistan. She currently serves as the commander of Eastern Sector, United States Military Entrance Processing Command. Her personal awards include the Bronze Star Medal, 6 Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, 5 Army Commendation Medals, and 4 Army Achievement Medals. Now taking her position in the reviewing area is Colonel Darlene. She is being escorted by Lieutenant Colonel Halligan, Commanding Officer, 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina.
Stallion! Present! Present. Morning, sir. Ready to score.
March to command and review.
Aye, sir. Set. Carry. Order!
of Troops, Captain White. His company first sergeant is First Sergeant Underwood. The Parris Island Marine Band, under the direction of the Drum Major Staff Sergeant Gonzalez and the enlisted conductor Staff Sergeant Harper. Captain Elsie and the graduating Marines of the 3024 series. His chief drill instructor is Gunnery Sergeant Tate. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 3024 is Staff Sergeant Lopez. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Bunninger, Staff Sergeant Clark, Staff Sergeant Staydick, and Sergeant Colress. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 3025 is Gunnery Sergeant Cisco. He is assisted by drill instructors Gunnery Sergeant Yee, Gunnery Sergeant Hopkins, Staff Sergeant King, and Sergeant Ainsworth.
Stand by. Hands, salute.
The Regimental Color Guard. The Color Sergeant is Sergeant Funk. Captain Smith and the graduating Marines of the 3028 series. His chief drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Long. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 3028 is Staff Sergeant Arroyo. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Gertie, Staff Sergeant Toledo, Sergeant Bordeaux, and Sergeant Smith. The honor platoon for Company K is Platoon 3029. The senior drill instructor is Sergeant Ruiz. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Darden, Sergeant Lopez, Sergeant Vicario, and Sergeant Lennon. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 3030 is Staff Sergeant Buchanan. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Woods, Sergeant Feeney, Sergeant Unger, and Sergeant Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, the company commander of Company K, Captain White. The new Marines carrying the platoon guidons have been selected as the honor graduates for their platoons. They will now retire their guidons.
Personnel to be awarded! Center! March!
The platoon guidons that are about to be retired have been the identification flags of each platoon throughout recruit training. To each, the guidon is a symbol of spirit, dedication, teamwork, and unit identity.
Retire the guidons!
The commanding officer of the 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Halligan, will present the High PFT and Honor Graduate Awards. He is accompanied by the 3rd Recruit Training Battalion Sergeant Major Gonzalez. We would like to thank the Marine Corps Association for providing the awards today. Please hold your applause until all of the awards have been presented. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 3024 and High Shooter of Company K with a score of 330 out of 350 possible points is PFC Eford. PFC Eford is from Milledgeville, Georgia and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Corona. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 3025 is PFC Williams. PFC Williams is from Lafayette, Louisiana and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Turner. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 3026 is PFC Tensley. PFC Tensley is from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Carter. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 3028 is PFC Ferrer. PFC Ferrer is from Worcester, Massachusetts, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Fetro. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 3029 and most physically fit Marine of Company K with a score of 596 out of 600 possible points is PFC Hutchins. PFC Hutchins is from Huntsville, Alabama and was recruited by Sergeant Hensel. The Company Honor Graduate for Company K is PFC Betances of Platoon 3030. PFC Betances is from Brandon, Florida and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished graduates of Company K.
March!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Aweigh, which represents the historic partnership and shared legacy of the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, followed by the Marines Hymn and the final dismissal. Ladies and gentlemen, the First Sergeant of Company K, First Sergeant Underwood.
Senior drill instructors, dismiss your platoon! Aye, Sergeant!
The senior drill instructors will now dismiss their platoons. This is the last, and probably the most welcome order the new Marines receive from their senior drill instructors.